Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh and very good afternoon to everyone. Okay, so as usual, before we start our lecture, I would like to remind everybody to mark your attendance through Putra Blast. Okay, please mark your attendance through Putra Blast. So this week we proceed with our next topic. We proceed with moderation first. Next week, insyaAllah, the final topic is on chi-square. Next week, last topic terakhir adalah chi-square. Okay, so this week we proceed with moderation. Okay, moderation analysis. We already completed the discussion on mediation. So this week, moderation. Okay, so the LO similar with the mediation. So you are able to differentiate between mediation and moderation analysis. Okay, you are able to determine the types of data required for mediation and moderation analysis. And then you are able to determine the mediation and moderation data analysis method, and you prepare the report writing according to APA format. Okay?
Dr. Naomi, yes? Before that, memang masa kelas kita 1 to 4 PM untuk attendance.
2 4 attendance. Oh, saya salah buat ni. Salah buat tu salah. Supposedly 13 pukul 3. Saya buat tadi. Sepatutnya pukul 3. Pukul 3 maksudnya 15. 18. Pukul 3 sampai 6 sepatutnya.
Just to let you know.
Sorry. Nanti saya betulkan balik. Okay, thank you Al-Helwa. Tak pasal di pukul 1 sampai 3 tu kelas dengan UG. Okay, so these are the statistical tools that we can use to run the moderation analysis. So the statistical tools ni similar lah as what we can use when we want to run the mediation analysis, sama. Okay, we can run the analysis in IBM SPSS, Smart PLS, MOS, M+, SAS and so on. Okay. So, but for our case, we will use IBM SPSS. Okay. Okay, so moderation analysis. Okay, so moderation ni referring to the effect of X on some variable Y is moderated by W if its sign, size or strength depend on or can be predicted by W. W ni become the moderator. Okay, it become the moderator if the association if the association between X and Y ni depend or change in terms of size, sign, positive size ni sama ada higher to lower, lower to higher, okay, sign plus minus, or strength depend on what we can predicted by W. Okay, so W is said to be a moderator of X effect on Y, or that W and X interact in their influence on Y. So another term that we can use to describe the moderating effect is interaction effect. Okay, as what we learned in two-way ANOVA, interaction effect. Okay. So, moderation is also known as statistical interaction. Okay, in which we are interested to see the interaction effect. Okay, and then identify a moderator of an effect helps to establish the boundary condition of that effect or the circumstances, stimuli, or type of people for which the effect is large versus small. Now we can see either the effect is large or small, present versus absent, ada atau tiada, positive or negative, and so on. Okay, we are going to elaborate on likelihood of a phenomenon. Sama ada sesuatu fenomena tu wujud ataupun tak. Okay, the requirement. So in terms of the requirement of each variables in moderation model. First, our IV. Okay, it is possible to have continuous or dichotomous variable. Sama ada continuous ataupun categorical variable. Dua-dua boleh for our IV. But in this case, we are going to use the continuous IV and continuous DV. Okay, DV ni mesti continuous. Okay. For moderator, it's also possible for you to have continuous or categorical variable. But for DV, okay, compulsory to have a continuous scale of measurement DV and it must be normally distributed. DV kita mesti normal dan mesti continuous. Dua ni But IV dengan moderator possible, either categorical or continuous. Okay, assumption. Okay, the IV moderator. Sorry, bukan mediator tu. Moderator and dependent variables are normally distributed in the population. In the case if our IV moderator and mediator ni are in continuous form. Moderator. Okay, and then the cases represent a random sample from the population. Okay, so there when we study about the moderating effect, so we need to learn about two types of effect. Sama ada the conditional effect or unconditional effect. So if X effect on Y is moderated by another variable in the model, means X effect on Y depends on that other variable, which is conditional. Okay, nama lain dia conditional effect. Maksudnya kalau ada, maksudnya bila effect X terhadap Y ni bergantung kepada boleh ubah lain, so nama dia adalah conditional effect. Okay, if X effects on Y is invariant or unchanged across all values of across all values of W, okay, low, moderate or high, okay, or level of W, means X effects on Y does not depends on that other variable, unconditional. Sebab tu dia kalau kita nak study moderator ni, dia lagi senang untuk kita faham moderating effect ni kalau the moderator is in categorical form, dalam bentuk kategori. And then sometimes even though we have the continuous moderator, but later on we will recode our variable to become the categorical variable, so that kita tahu what are the effects of X on Y ni on different level of W moderator. Okay. Okay, so this is the graphical representation of conditional and unconditional model. Kalau kita tengok yang from the first diagram, okay, so the value of X and Y ni didn't change across different level of W. Tak ada perubahan. Kan sama je kalau kita tengok. Okay, but in second figure we can see, okay, for W equals to 2, okay, the shape, the line tu dia lagi tajam. Okay, compared to moderator equals to 0. Kalau kita tengok yang line ni. Okay, lepas tu kita nampak ada perubahan di setiap tahap W ni, moderator ni. X mempengaruhi, maksudnya hubungan X, kesan X terhadap Y bergantung kepada tahap moderator. Okay. Okay, so next one, simple moderation conceptual model. So ini kena tengok betul-betul sebab dia punya conceptual model dengan statistical model a little bit different. Okay, so this is the simple moderation conceptual model. So we have our IV, our DV, and then moderator intervene at the middle arrow between IV and the DV. This is the simple moderation statistical model. Beza sikit. So first, we are going to check on the influence or the effect of IV towards the DV. Second, we are going to check on the effect of the moderator towards the DV. And lastly, we are interested to check or to see the interaction effect, the result of interaction effect between IV and moderator towards DV. So we are going to check on three effects values here. Okay, IV towards DV, moderator towards DV, and the interaction between IV and moderator towards the DV. Ini kita punya statistical model. So this is what we are going to test. Okay. So in this case, we are going to have three antecedent variable. Tiga. Satu IV towards the DV, moderator towards the DV, and interaction between IV and DV, IV and moderator towards the DV. Okay, so this is the simple moderation equation. Sama je macam yang lain, cuma beza dia yang kat 3 ni. Okay, so since in moderation, in simple moderation, we have we have one moderator and one IV, so we have one interaction effect here lah. Okay, so Y equals to I, okay, ataupun B naught. Okay, we can also use the B naught. Okay, plus B1X1, B1X lah, since we have only we have only one IV, B2Z or B2 moderator, B3 XZ. Ni interaction between IV and moderator. Yang ni kita interested, yang kita nak tengok Okay, so yang X ni, X dengan Z ni, Z ni, we call it as main effect. Okay, kesan utama. Okay, and then XZ ni dia referring to the interaction effect. Okay, interaction effect. So kita ada dua. Main effect, we have two main effect and then one interaction effect. Okay, ni sama. Okay, so to determine the moderation effect, okay, the proposed moderation, if it exists, if the proposed moderation effect exists, it should be evident in the interaction term XZ predicting the outcome Y. So sebenarnya kalau kita nak tahu ada moderating effect ke tak, kita rujuk hak ni je. Hak ni je yang kita nak tengok. Okay, yang last sekali. Okay. What to expect? Ni sama macam the 5 hypothesis testing. Okay, first state H0 and HA, identify the test statistic, we set alpha, make decision, and lastly make the conclusion. We determine the effect size later on. Okay, so this one we already done. Okay, by the way, you can open our ERS 5951 data. Okay, so we already completed this one betul kan? Download process version ni dah siap kan? Kita prepare dulu kita punya ni. Okay, so please follow the steps that I shared earlier. Okay, download the latest version of macro process software to be embedded in our IBM SPSS. Okay, install in your device. Okay, ni kita plug in saja. Okay, ini dah settle. Ada problem tak this one? Semua dah ready kan? Ready? Semua diam ni, sudah. Okay, I assume ready lah So you can check through your IBM SPSS by clicking analyze regression to see either this box appear or not. Okay, process version mine ni last time version 3.5 lah. Okay. Okay, so let's proceed with step-by-step moderation analysis in IBM SPSS. So basically, I will introduce you to two methods to run the moderation analysis in IBM SPSS. Either we want to proceed with ordinal least square (OLS) or process macro. Ada dua kaedah. Okay. Okay, so first we proceed with the categorical moderator. Categorical moderator, saya rasa tak share lagi data ni kot. Okay, so this is the question. So a researcher is interested to study whether gender might affect the relationship between task-oriented copying, IV, and then philanthropic behavior. So our moderator in this case is gender. Okay, based on the given scenario, okay, please respond to the following item. First, state the null and research hypothesis, run the analysis in IBM SPSS, and then identify and extract the appropriate statistics to be reported. Set the alpha, make decision, and lastly conclusion. Okay, so first we define our moderation conceptual model. So conceptually, this is how our model looks like. Okay, the gender located at the middle between TOC and PB, philanthropic behavior. So in this case, our our moderator is categorical. Okay, male and female, male and female. Okay, so this is the simple moderation statistical model. Okay, we are interested to check on 3 types of effect. First main effect B1, the second main effect B2. Okay, lastly the interaction between task-oriented copying and moderator, which is gender on our DV. Okay. Okay, first to respond to the first question, to state the null and research hypothesis. So for null hypothesis, we can just state there is an insignificant moderating effects of gender on the relationship between TOC and PB. Okay, task-oriented copying and PB. Whereas our research hypothesis, there is a significant moderating effects of gender on the relationship between task-oriented copying and PB. So very clear. Senang je ni. Okay, so this one so this one based on our another option that you can state your research hypothesis. Female would evidence a stronger positive relationship between task-oriented copying and PB compared to male. Dia memang kalau based on literature, based on literature, this is how it looks like. Okay, female ni would evidence. Dia based on previous research. Okay, they indicated that female will show stronger positive relationship. Okay, women, female ni dia ada task-oriented copying dia higher towards PB compared to male based on past study. So you can also state your null hypothesis like this. Okay. And then we want to run the analysis in IBM SPSS. So again, as what I mentioned earlier, we are going to try on two methods. So we use the first one, ordinal least square. Okay, so you can open your data set. Okay. Let me know once you are ready. Please open your data set. Ini kalau tak buat ni slow sikit lah, susah sikit, nanti lupa. Okay, please open your data set because we want to prepare prepare our data. We want to create the interaction term ni. Okay, done, doctor. Okay, so now, okay, click transform to create interaction effect, interaction term in our data set. Click transform, click compute variable. Click transform, click compute variable. Next, okay, in the compute variable box, you write a new target variable which is TOC X gen. Okay, the interaction between task-oriented copying and gender. TOC X gen. Okay. Type the interaction term. Okay, next one. Okay, you create the interaction equation. Okay, to create the interaction equation, you just choose the task-oriented copying mean and then click the times this function, this symbol. Okay, and then click gender. Create the interaction equation. Done. Done, doctor. Okay, done. Okay, then click OK. So then you can go to your data set. You can see there is a new interaction variable added into your data set. Okay, TOC times gender. Ada? Ada
Ada.
Okay. Next one, the next procedure. Okay. Now click analyze, click regression and click linear. Analyze, regression, linear. Okay. Next one. In the linear regression box, you insert PB mean under dependent, PB mean under dependent variable, TOC mean under independent, and then click next. Sorry. This one, after you enter TOC mean, click next. Next one, you enter gender. Click next, then you enter the interaction term, the interaction variable. Faham? Click next twice, 2 kali. Next, next. Okay? Boleh Next one, click statistics. Click button statistic. Okay, in the statistic box, you tick for estimates, confidence interval, 95%, model fit, R-squared change. Okay, tick for estimates, confidence interval level 95%, model fit, R-squared change. And then click continue. Next one, click save. Boleh? Click save. Okay, under save, under the predicted values, you tick for unstandardized and standardized. Unstandardized and standardized, and then click continue. Then lastly, click OK. Okay, then please check your output. Okay, so first regression variable entered. First table ni will indicate the method that we use. Okay, and then this the first box ni we can make sure either we enter the right IVs and then the right interaction term in our analysis. Kita check kat sini. Okay. Next one, the summary model summary table, similar in what we learned during our regression class. It will explain the percentage of variance in DV explained by IVs. Okay, IV, IV1, moderator, and the interaction effect. Okay, so based on, is it the value similar? Are we share the similar values? Sama tak?
Yes, sama.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Maksudnya saya bagi. Okay, good. Okay, for the first model, so our R-square equals to 0.116. Okay, so 0.116 ni indicate task-oriented copying, explain 11.6% of variance in philanthropic behavior. Sama macam mana kita interpret dalam MLR and SLR. Similar Okay, next one, after we add the second variable, okay, gender. So task-oriented copying and gender. Okay, explain 53.1% of variance in philanthropic behavior. So what we can further explain is gender, after we enter gender into the model, after we add gender into the model, so gender explain an additional 41.5% of variance in philanthropic behavior. Maksudnya kat sini kita dah nampak dah gender ni akan memainkan peranan. Tinggi dia tambah ni. Daripada 11.6 jadi 53. So dia tambah lagi 41.5. 41.5%. Okay. Then to reconfirm, we check on the interaction effect. So through the interaction term, we can see that the interaction variable explain 57.6% of variance in philanthropic behavior, in which the interaction term add an additional of 4.5%. Banyak tu. Okay. So next one, the ANOVA table. So ANOVA table provide information on the three models. Okay. So this is what we want to see. F and significant F. So based on the three model, we can see that the influence are significant. Either IV towards the DV, moderator towards the DV, and then the interaction with the DV. Okay. Okay, the last not the last lagi kot. Apa ni? The coefficient table. Okay, based on the coefficient table ni, it will allow us to make some conclusions about the direction of the main effect. So remember tadi kita ada two types of main effect. Okay, the effects of IV toward the DV, the first main effect, the effect of moderator towards the DV, second main effect, and the interaction effect. Okay. So as we can see from the first model, okay, so beta unstandardized beta equals to 0.316. Okay, standardized coefficient beta 0.341. Okay, so meaning that task-oriented copying, okay, contribute significant positive beta which is 0.341, which is higher. Task-oriented copying was associated with higher PB. Maksudnya hubungannya adalah positif. Kita tengok tak ada direction, tak ada simbol simbol negatif, so meaning that there is a positive association. Satu, if task-oriented copying tinggi, and then philanthropic behavior pun will increase. Okay. Next one, gender. So gender. Untuk second model, kita tak tengok dah yang first ni, tengok yang kedua. So gender according to standardized coefficient beta equals to 0.65. So gender was significantly associated with philanthropic behavior after task-oriented copying is entered first in the regression model. Which is yang tadi tu kita guna next tu, itu nama dia hierarchical regression. Okay, we enter into our variable according to hierarchy. Hierarchy ni meaning that according to the one that has been proposed by previous study. Kita masuk IV dulu, the moderator, and then only then the interaction effect. Okay. So lepas dah ada kesan, bila kita dah masukkan task oriented copying, bila kita masukkan gender tu, kita nampak kesan tu lagi kuat. Okay. Next one. The interaction term. Okay, contribute a significant beta in predicting philanthropic behavior. So the beta for the interaction term is 2.055. So very high. Kita tengok memang melonjak interaction term ni. Okay, ni tak ada apa So yang ni tak ada apa. Okay, next one. So based on the our data, based on the unstandardized value, so we pick the values and then we plug in into our simple moderation equation. So y equals to 4.51. Ini kita dapat dekat ni, kat sini. Kat sini. Ini. Okay. So this is our moderation equation, simple moderation equation. Y equals to 4.510 minus 0.358x minus 1.13xz plus 0.395xz. So ini kita punya simple moderation equation. Okay, so to help us to better interpret the moderation effect, so we can use the graph. We can use the graph. So we should graph it so that we can interpret. So this is the recommendation given by Icahn and West 1991. So for to help us to better explain or elaborate regarding the moderation effect, we should graph it. Okay, so we can download the mode graph, moderation graph ni from the website. Okay, hold on, let me share the link. Please visit the website. Please go to the website. Dapat buka tak? Okay, so this is the website. You can also download actually the Excel. Okay, this is if you want to run the analysis through the website, but you can also download the Excel sheet. This one. You can download the Excel sheet. This one. It will give a similar result. Okay, download pun boleh. Okay, so these are the statistics that is necessary to be inserted in the in the output or in the column provided from the website. First, we need the mean. Okay, the mean for our first variable for our IV, which is task oriented copying. So the mean is 4.4310. The standard deviation equals to 0.51373. For gender, not available, but 0 equals to male, 1 equals to female. Okay, kita punya coding. Boleh? Mean kita ada, for gender tak applicable lah. The mean and standard deviation not applicable for gender. Okay, and then the unstandardized regression coefficient that we got from our earlier analysis for task oriented copying. Okay, the unstandardized beta equals to negative 0.358, gender negative 1.138, the interaction effect 0.395, then constant 4.510. So we plug in the value into the according to the particular column and box. Masukkan je value ni, plug in into the box. Masukkan je. Okay. So masukkan macam ni. Okay, for the title ni you can use moderating role of gender. Okay, guna je title tu. Okay, x-axis is our IV, x-axis task oriented copying. Okay, and then y-axis is our PB, philanthropic behavior, and then our moderator is gender. Okay, title, moderating role of gender, x-axis TOC, okay, y-axis PB, then moderator gender. Okay, so then for unstandardized data, main effect, first main effect, which is TOC, negative 0.358. We insert the value negative 0.358. The mean is 4.4310. Mean 4.4310. Standard deviation 0.51373. Okay, standard deviation 0.51373. Okay, done. For the moderating variable, unstandardized data equals to negative 1.138. Okay, for categorical groups, 1 female, 0 male. Okay. And then for the interaction term, the unstandardized value is 0.395. Constant 4.510. 4.510. Okay. Next, we click calculate. Dah masukkan data dah. Kalau tak buat rugi. Sebab lepas ni susah dah nak buat ni. Baik buat. Dan?
Ya, doktor.
Okay, next click calculate. After you calculate, it will show you to this result. Okay, to 2x3 table categorical, you akan dapat result ni. Betul? Sama tak?
Sama-sama.
Okay. So next one, click view figure. After you calculate, click view figure. It will show you to this moderating graph. Betul?
Betul.
Okay, so daripada graph ni nampak tak apa beza? Male and female. The one with dotted line ni female, the straight line ni without dotted ni, yang tak ada dot ni male. The task oriented copying, you can see that there is a positive effect between task oriented copying and philanthropic behavior. And then this one ni level of task oriented copying between gender ni, line ni gender. Okay, for low For male, female ni dia score higher for PB. For low task oriented copying, okay, compared to male, kita tengok line ni dia start dengan 3.7, 3.5 something, 3.5 something. Okay, for low task oriented copying, we can see that the value or the reading for philanthropic behavior for female better than male. Okay, maksudnya kalau untuk perempuan ni, semakin tinggi task oriented copying, semakin tinggi philanthropic behavior for female. For female, the higher task oriented copying, the task oriented copying will increase philanthropic behavior. But for male, okay, higher task oriented copying will reduce philanthropic behavior. Dia terbalik kalau kita tengok. Okay, ni dia semua kalau kita tengok So male's line is steeper downwards, meanwhile female's line is flatter but moving upward. Okay, so this pattern means that the relationship between TOC and PB is positive for females and negative for male. Untuk lelaki kesan dia lain, untuk perempuan kesan dia lain. Antara kesan TOC dengan PB. So dia akan jelas lagi kalau kita draw the graph ni. Okay, maksudnya kita akan nampak the moderating effect of gender. Okay. Next one. Second example by using categorical moderator. Tadi pun categorical juga tak? Sebab categorical senang. Okay, but this one we use the process macro. Okay, so next one, a researcher is interested to study whether gender might affect the relationship between social support and depression. Kita ada gender juga, the moderator is gender, but our IV is social support and DV is depression. Okay, so based on the given scenario, please respond to the following items. So first, state the null and research hypothesis, run the analysis in IBM SPSS, identify the alpha, and then make decision, and lastly conclusion. Okay, so this is how our simple moderation conceptual models looks like. Okay, sama macam yang tadi, ubah IV dengan DV sahaja. This is how the simple moderation statistical model. Okay, we have two main effect and then we have one interaction effect. Okay, the first main effect is between social support and depression. The second main effect is gender and depression. Lastly, the interaction between social support and gender towards the depression. Okay, this is our null hypothesis. Okay, so state there is an insignificant moderating effects of gender on the relationship between social support and depression. Or we can our research hypothesis, there is a significant moderating effects of gender on the relationship between social support and depression. But based on literature, okay, it is concluded or it is said that males would evidence a stronger negative relationship between social support and depression compared to female. Dia lagi tinggi, dia punya negative relationship tu lagi tinggi berbanding female. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to run the analysis by using process macro. But I'm not yet share this data set. Hold on Nak share data set ni. The new data set. Saya rasa this one kot. Okay. Please use the second data set. Dah ready? Ready?
Ready.
Tutor ready.
Okay. So now click analyze, click regression, and then click process according to the installed version of process version in your device. Pilih mana-mana yang ada yang kita install itu. Analyze, regression, and process. Okay, next one. In the process box, you choose social support and locate under your IV, which is X variable. Okay, social support is our IV, X variable. Okay, and then Y, choose depression. Okay, and then for moderating moderator variable W, we choose gender. Okay, choose gender. Okay, and then model number, please pick model number 1. Ni sama macam yang saya cakap last time when we did the mediation analysis, which is for mediation analysis, we choose the model number 4, which indicate the simple mediation model. But for simple moderation model, according to Pritchard and Hayes ni, the model number is number 1. Okay, pick number 1. Okay, next one, click. Okay, for model number 1, make sure confidence interval 95%, number of bootstrap 5,000. Okay, and then click option. Okay, for option, you tick for show covariance metric of regression coefficient, tick for generate code for visualizing interactions, and then tick for test for X by M interactions. Okay, and then moderating and conditioning, probe interaction if a significant value lesser than 0.05. Okay, and then click continue. Okay, for multi-categorical ni, we use the multi-categorical if we have at least one of a variable, okay, has 3 categories and more. Tapi dalam case kita ni, the categorical variable only consists of 2 categories, which is male and female. Tapi kalau kita ada lebih, baru kita klik multi-categorical ni. Okay, kalau tak ada, tak perlu. Okay, and then long variable names ni, kalau kita guna, kalau you all ada one variable with more than 8 characters, long variable names ni. Kalau tak ada masalah, tak perlu. Okay. Next one, click OK. Then go to your output windows to check the result. Dapat? Dapat? Semua senyap ni. Dapat Okay, so the first result dia akan indicate the first box ni will make sure that we enter the right IVs and then the moderator in the correct sequence and that you expected DV is the correct variable. So kita tengoklah tengok the first table ni sebenarnya dia untuk kita check kita masukkan variable yang betul ataupun salah. Okay, next one. Kita tengok dekat outcome variable, dekat di output, di outcome variable depress. Okay, output variable depress. Okay, so this one we are looking for the value for B1, the first main effect. Okay, which is social support, the influence of social support on depression. Okay, next one B2. Okay, the influence of gender on depression. Okay, so this is the effect dia punya result. Next one, the interaction effect. Okay, so B3. Okay. Next one ni the test of higher order unconditional interaction ni dia indicate an equivalent test of interaction between social support and gender. Okay. Next one, output for plot. Next one, output from the plot option juga. Ni kalau let's say kita nak buat plot, we want to come up with plot or graph later on, we can use the output from here. Okay, kita boleh guna output ni. Okay, so based on the earlier result, so this is our simple moderation equation. Yang ni kita ambil daripada yang kat atas ni tadi. Ni. Kita ambil the value ni from here. 8.9275 minus 0.0866 plus 14.6725 minus 0.5127. Kat sini we just plug in into the equation. Okay, ni kita punya equation. Okay, next one we want to visualize the moderating variable, moderating effect. Okay, so we just double click, kita pergi balik, go to our output window, double click to activate the function. Okay, klik je, pergi dekat output tadi, double click. Okay, and then we select this one. Kita choose semua ni, select and copy. Highlight from data list free until gender, until the dot ni. Okay, until the full stop. Okay, then go to syntax window, click file, click new, click syntax. File, new, syntax. Okay. Next one, you paste. Paste the output that we copy from the SPSS output to syntax command. Okay. And then highlight again, and then click run. Click the green arrow, okay, to run the selection. Okay. Then you can see there is a new graph appear. Betul? Dapat tak? Dapat? Dapat?
Dapat.
Alhamdulillah. Dapat. Apa dia? Hafiz? Dia frozen tadi.
Dapat.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So kita dapat macam ni. So now we want to create the straight line. So double click anywhere on the graph. Mana-mana kat graph ni, klik je, double click. Okay, dia akan keluar, dia akan activatekan the chart editor. Okay. Okay, and then double click dekat dot. Any dot tu, pilih satu, double click to activate. Dia akan, it will activate the properties ni. Okay, choose spikes and then click centroid. Choose spike, click centroid and then click apply. Dapat? Dapat? So then kita dapatlah ni straight line ni. Dapat? Sama dengan saya Dapat Hafiz?
Dapat dah sama.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so based on this diagram, okay, so we can see female's line is the steeper of the two and the male slope is the flatter of the two. So this pattern means that the relationship between social support and depression is stronger for females and weaker for male. Maksudnya hubungan antara social support dengan depression. Perempuan ni semakin banyak social support, kalau kita tengok merah. Tadi merah. Sorry. 0 ni, 1 indicate female. Okay. So the higher social support, kita tengok higher social support, the depression reduce for female. Tapi lelaki ni dia okay, kalau perempuan ni dia reduce banyak, tapi lelaki ni sikit saja. So maksudnya we can say that, we can conclude that male ni for male ni dia lebih emotionally stable compared to female. Kalau ikut finding ni lah, gender ni. Lelaki dia turun juga, dia perlukan juga social support. Tapi tak tak significant female. Okay, we can see the different result between the two genders here. Okay, so this is how we can interpret and report our finding. Panjang sikit this one. Okay, it was predicted that males would evidence a stronger negative relationship between social support and depression compared to female because males' use of social support is less common and may be more salient. So a regression analysis was performed to test this moderation hypothesis, which is social support was the independent variable, gender was the moderating variable, and depression was the DV. So the social support variable was multiplied with the dummy coded gender, and then the two main effect and the interaction term were used in the hierarchical regression to predict depression. So a significant main effect for gender was obtained, which is beta value equals to 0.225, significant value 0.001, and it signified that female depression levels on average were higher than male's depression level, but this main effect was qualified by the significant interaction. Okay, B equals to negative 0.82, significant value 0.009, which was graphed using the techniques recommended by Icahn and West. Okay, so the figure shows that the females manifested a steeper slope between social support and depression than males. Okay, simple slope analysis yielded the result that females manifested a significant negative slope, whereas males evidenced a non-significant slope. Okay, so this result suggests that females' differential use of social support was significantly related to level of depression. Okay, so whereas no such association was noted for males. Further, the largest difference in self-reported depression between the genders occurred under the condition of low social support, whereas males and females' levels of depression were virtually identical under condition of high social support. Ni dia punya interpretation. Okay, any question? Boleh Nampak boleh guna dua-dua. OLS boleh guna proses makro pun boleh. Okay, next one for continuous moderator. Last one. Okay, so a researcher is interested to test the buffering hypothesis of social support from the effect of stress on depression. Ni lagi satu data ni kot. Ustaz nak tengok data dia yang mana satu. Categorical continuous. Ni rasanya kot. Hold on betul. Okay, so now we are going to do the hands-on for the continuous moderating variable. Please use the second data set. Okay, so based on our early question, so our IV is stress, okay, our DV is depression, and then our moderating variable is social support. Okay, we have social support, which is continuous variable, IV stress, continuous variable, and then DV pun continuous variable. Okay, so this is how the conceptual model should looks like. Okay, and then this is the statistical model. Moderation statistical model, we have two main effect and then we have one interaction effect. Okay, so this is our null hypothesis and research hypothesis. So we can state that there is an insignificant moderating effect of social support on the relationship between stress and depression. Our research hypothesis, there is a significant moderating effect of social support on the relationship between stress and depression. Okay, so now we run the analysis by using process macro. Okay, so we repeat similar step. Okay, click analyze, click regression, and then click process. Analyze, regression, process. Okay, next one, we insert our variable accordingly. Okay, Y, depression, X, stress, moderator, social support. Okay, moderator, social support. Depression, DV, depression, IV, stress, moderator, social support. Okay, and then we click the option, Under option, we tick similar as what we did before, sama je. Click continue, and then click OK. Okay, so this is the first output, outcome variable, depression. Okay, we got all the three B's, B1, B2, and B3, in which this value we will use to be plugged into our moderation equation. Okay. Next one ni, data list free ni. This one we will use to plot our finding. Okay. So this is our moderation equation. Okay, y equals to 1.81111 plus 0.4826x plus 0.1106z minus 0.0173xz. Okay. So to visualize our moderation effect, again we copy the data list free output. Kita copy je finding tadi. Okay, and then click file, click open new, and then click syntax. File, new syntax. Okay, and then we paste. Paste dekat syntax command. Okay, and then we highlight, and then we click the green arrow. Ujung tu kita dapat macam ni. Okay, so ini dia punya final result untuk the moderating effect of stress, the moderating effect of social support on the relationship between stress and depression. Nampak beza? Boleh? Dah. Sampai sini je hari ni. Any questions so far? Soalan? Moderating and mediating ni, mediating variable it is a higher analysis lah. So rather than we look for the direct relationship between IVs and DV, so later on probably, so we are interested to look further or to check on the possibility of the influence of third variable in our findings. Possible. Okay, tak semestinya benda tu berlaku. Sebenarnya dia benda ni kadang-kadang kita tengok dalam cross tabulation. Bila kita buat cross tab, boleh tengok kan, kalau you all yang familiar dengan Excel sheet, dia sebenarnya kita boleh tengok sebenarnya ada perbezaan dalam kategori-kategori tertentu. Dia tak semestinya finding tu sama untuk keseluruhan demographic factor. Okay, ada soalan tak? By the way, regarding our final exam, do you have any preferred date? Nak tanya final exam sebelum terlupa.
First week, okay kot, Doktor.
First week, 13, 14. Depan minggu 14 ni. So first week 10 ni. Minggu 10, 11 ni. 11 Julai Tapi minggu ni minggu Raya Haji tak?
Betul.
10 hari bulan Raya Haji.
10, 11 cuti lagi. Okay, so which date? The preferred date? 14 to 15, 13 to 14?
Exam berapa lama?
Berapa hari? Soalan dia.
Sehari sudah boleh tak? Sehari. 24 hours. Is it okay? It is a very easy question. I can confirm you. It is a very easy question. Senang sangat petik cari je. Because the output already provided to you. There are two sections, MCQ and subjective. Sama macam kelas statistik. MCQ saya lupa ada berapa soalan, but for subjective, if I'm not mistaken, there are 7 questions. But the 7 question tu it is similar to what we learned during class. So you need to mention the null and research hypothesis, all the 5 steps. Okay, but the output already provided to you. Output dah ada. So sekarang ni you all nak kena pilih je mana to be reported. The one need to be reported. Tak payah kira. Senang sangat. Is it okay 24 hours? Senyum.
Jawab dia. Betul. Jawab dia dekat mana? Kat Google Form ke? Atau kita hantar Word? Hantar kat Dr. Mak. Macam tu
Last time saya guna Words or PDF. Last time. Sebab saya rasa susah untuk guna Google Form. So kita guna Words So I will share through your individual Dropbox. I will share the question through your individual Dropbox.
Doktor.
So nanti submit pun dekat individual Dropbox juga.
15 okey kot?
15 Okay, 15. Okay, beres. 15 Julai. Okay, tak ada lah
2 hari.
Yes?
2 hari 1 hari.
Sehari lah, boleh tak? Kena 2 hari juga. 15.
2 hari.
Tadi doktor
2
cakap
hari
14 to 15.
14 to 15. 14 to 15. 15. 14, 15 bolehlah 14, 15.
Thank you, doktor.
14 to 15 15 Julai.
Thank you, doktor.
Stres-stres nak habis dah ni belajar ni, tak stres-stres. Okay? So ada lagi soalan nak tanya? Clear
Doktor, untuk assignment submission last bila?
Last supposedly on study week lah. Sebab saya marking bolehlah study week. During study week all the assignments. Lagi satu je saya rasa saya tak ni, moderation tak ada assignment. Moderation and mediation there will be no assignment. The last will be on chi-square, itu sahaja. Okay? Ada
Deadline assignment tu berapa hari bulan doktor?
Kan, itulah orang tak bagi date, dia minta date. Kalau bagi date kah? Okay, so basically I give you kita punya study week sekejap minggu ni 21, 13, minggu depan 14. Until 8 Julai lah. 8 Julai. Okay, 8 Julai. Study week Okay, 8 Julai. Pukul 5. Anda ditanya sangat. So, spesifik pukul 5. Okay. Nanti siapa yang tak share lagi, please share your Dropbox. By the way, Nat, please reshare your Dropbox because if I'm not mistaken, you use my UPM mail. Please use my Gmail.
Saya share to both email.
Okay. We
UPM
check.
and Gmail.
Double check. Gmail. Okay, please use my Gmail to share your Dropbox folder. Okay, ada lagi soalan? Tak ada dah Cukup dah tu, stop lah kat sini. Nanti kalau balik praktis tu pandai dah tu. Okay, so if there is no more question, we stop here today. InsyaAllah we will see each other again next week for final lecture. InsyaAllah I will complete all on the chi-square. Sikit lagi. Okay, so thank you so much guys. Wassalamualaikum.
Salam.
Thank you, doktor.